All right, I'm Jake Klug. I'm a personal trainer. I work at Alessi Fitness. I handle all of our nutritional and DEXA scan stuff. So we're going over Mike's scan right now. On his last scan about 4 weeks ago, he clocked in at 21.43 overall pounds of body fat. So that's all the body fat accumulated across his entire body. On this scan, just 4 weeks later, we came down to only 12.45 overall pounds of body fat.
Wow.
Yeah, and you actually did end up, so on the last scan for your lean tissue number, you were at 229.79. You did actually go up to 230.71. So that tells us that you did put on a little bit of muscle there. That's
wow.
crazy.
So we didn't lose any muscle.
You did not lose any muscle. You went up in muscle.
Man, that's great because a lot of times when you're in prep, that's the one thing we don't want. Like my coach says, we don't want to go catabolic.
Yeah, definitely.
So as hard as we're pushing,
yeah,
we're actually still gaining.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, and you would be able, if we were losing so much water, you'd go down a couple pounds like I was saying before. So it seems like you really timed the carb cut perfectly.
Right, okay.
On the last scan, you were 262.7 pounds overall. On this one, we came down to 254.9. That's a solid loss. Let's look at, just out of my own curiosity, I'm going to look at your bone density and see if that went up.
Yeah, a lot of people don't talk about bone density.
Yeah, so if you gain muscle, your bone density should increase because there's more tension over time throughout the day where your muscles are pulling on your bones. Let me see what it was on your last scan.
Wow, only 12 pounds. So
Dude, this is a good scan.
So in that 12 pounds of fat, that also includes my body organs, right?
Yeah, it's all your fat.
So
that's solid. That's a huge loss, bro. That's huge.
So it's not really much fat left on the body to lose.
Not much. You got 12 pounds that you're working with here.
So I mean, so physically you can't even obviously you can't lose the weight of your organs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that's all gonna be in the lean tissue number because it's all muscular tissue.
Okay.
So I'm going over your last scan. I'm trying to find your bone density.
I know I feel like I hold the biggest amount of fat or water in my stomach area. So I wonder like how much fat is left in my trunk now.
If we look through this. You know what? I'm going to print, just to make this go a little bit quicker, I'm going to print off your last scan, and then we can compare that.
Wow, 12 pounds of fat left.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So it just makes
shredded. Like, you shredded that fat. That's fast. That's about as fast as it's going to go.
Was it 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah, like 4.5 weeks.
So really, is this, I think it's, and this is one thing I tell my coach, I really think it's just more so a thing. I just naturally hold a lot of water.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
So I feel like if we were to do a hard pull right now,
yeah, I
probably would lose almost like 12, 15 pounds of water.
Yeah.
And be right on the mark.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you'd be down in like the 230s. That's crazy.
Man. I'm just happy we haven't lost any muscle. That's the one thing we're always afraid of is the body going catabolic.
You went up like almost a pound, which is physiologically possible. So that's how I know it's muscle. You can put on about 2 pounds in like a month.
Right.
But you already are so big, like it's going to be a lot harder for you to pack on an extra pound.
Right. What's the body fat percentage now? Man. So what we're
4.9.
Say that again?
4.9% body fat. You went down from 8.2 to 4.9. You cut it in half. It's crazy.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Time
you
out.
are 4.9% body fat overall, your entire body. That's crazy. You're going to be clocking in at like 3. So the one thing I will say, because you're already so low and we're 4.5, 5 weeks out right now?
About 5.
You're not going to be able to lose hardly much more. Your body's not going to want to lose it because it's not going to want to get down to like 2%.
Are these the results on the screen?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Do you mind if I get the
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm honored, listen to be in your guys' thing and stuff like that, man. I've heard, like I said, a tremendous amount about you guys. especially Dr. Leslie and everything. And I'm glad that I'm here working with you guys, and definitely look forward to even coming back even more. In fact, I probably will come back again during peak week.
Yeah, you should. Please do.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
For my own curiosity, please do. All right, so this is what I was talking about before. This was your first scan. Your bone mineral density was at 1.641, so the last couple don't really matter. 1.64. You went up to 1.665, so you increased bone density because you increased muscle.
Wow.
Right? That's crazy.
So that's a clear indication that obviously you really did put on muscle when the bone density goes up.
So on that lean tissue number on the last scan.
Welcome.
So this was your last scan. On that lean tissue number, you were at 229.79. You went up not quite a pound. So what that means is either A, you went up that pound in muscle. And just based off of everything that you've told me and everything that I already know about you, that sounded very probable, but it's not a set thing. It also could have meant that you actually went up in carbs and you were retaining more water. Mm-hmm. You already told me that you took out some of the carbs, so that's already not so probable. But there also is room for human error where you don't really notice something. But because you went up about a pound, not quite in lean tissue, and you went up a little bit in your bone density, that tells me that there's more tension pulling on your bones, so they're going to actually get denser by a little bit. So that's how we know for a fact that was all muscle.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now in my trunk, how much more like the fat am I really like necessarily holding in that trunk area? Because I feel like that's where I typically, so like I feel like I have like water pockets. Mm-hmm. So obviously, I mean, if I only got 12 pounds of fat, then it's not really much.
Yeah. Your trunk on the original scan, 1.5. Follow all these crazy numbers. 1.595. Total trunk on this one, 1.6. Yeah, you're retaining a little bit more water in your trunk. That's not uncommon, though. It's really not a noticeable difference. That also could literally mean that you ate or you consumed like an extra couple ounces of water in the last 24 hours than you did last time. That's a hard one to dial in, unless you're measuring with like a syringe how much water. That's a hard one to dial in, but that's really good. Let's see what else. So that's all bone density. I haven't analyzed a scan like this in a while.
This is dope.
And the other thing that you can see pretty easily too, just up here on the screen. So this is the composition trend. So this black line is the fat. It means from point A, which was your initial scan, it went down, which is what we want. And you want to see this X here, where when you go down in fat, you go up in lean tissue, because that's how, for you, for someone who's trying to lose fat, that would not necessarily be the greatest thing, because it probably just means that they ate more carbs. For you, it means you're retaining more water in your muscle, and you gained more muscle.
Wow. Okay.
Which is the fastest way for that to happen. And then we have all those like results that we were talking about before right here. And if I go back into composition trends, you can see that it's going to trend upward here. So this scan started here. This was your baseline one, and we're going in this direction. So this is the prediction for where you're going to be at, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going up. That's good. That's what you want. And then it kind of plateaus right around here. You got to do something different. It's going to go up again. And this is the comparison from... this is today's scan, so you can see like your left versus right side. So left trunk 11, left total 8.8, right arm 5.52, right leg. So this right arm right here, 5.5, is going to correlate down to, we got right arm there, left arm here, 5.5. That number right there is your left arm down to right, 5.5. So that's your symmetry. You're perfectly symmetrical.
Wow.
Perfectly, which is crazy.
Now, I know you mentioned when we talked about the total pounds, like we said, we have 11 pounds of fat left, or 12?
Yeah.
And that includes the organs. Now, I think we talked about, how much is that?
So this difference right here, the android versus gynoid, 11.5 to 11.1 is the difference, so only 0.4 pounds is on your organs.
So when you say what is 0.4 mean?
This 0.4 is the difference right here. It's the difference between your organs and your muscle tissue. So there's barely any on your organs, that's the healthy amount that you're going to get there, and that's the difference. So that means out of this 11.5, the overall 12, you're going to be able to lose a good portion of that.
Wow.
Yeah, you're going to be able to lose a good portion of that. That's crazy. This is insane. This is by far the best scan I've ever seen.
You said the best scan you ever seen?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. I will say, we don't do a ton of bodybuilders, but this is the best scan I've seen. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge